Today, what are your political views? Keep a bit.
Okay, guys, thank you. Like, subscribe, and share. Right, hit the subscribe button right here. Then remember to check out my book on Amazon.com. Hip Hop and Igbo Culture by yours faithfully, Martin Ifeanyi Chukwu. Stick around for political views. All right, thank you.
My name is Chief Dr. Sir Bob Manuel Doku Nana Dogidi. Join Martins on political views on Mondays 3 p.m., Saturdays 10 a.m. on Ebonadi 103.5 FM Dogidi.
Two students died in Nasarawa State during the stampede ahead of a distribution of palliatives in Nasarawa University. Also, Delta State Governor Sheriff Oborowore warned traditional rulers in Niger Delta not to shield anyone who is involved in the killing of soldiers. It is said that at least 10 indigenes of Ibomoturu have been killed. Good morning and welcome to Political Views on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. I am Martin Ifeanyi Chukwu, AKZ. President of a drug group, is saying that the community cannot leave. Some community members cannot leave that particular community. Yes, it is said that those who are left in the Okuama community cannot leave the community, and people are dying of starvation. While the president of the JOG group is canvassing for human rights, they are pleading with the military to make sure that innocent people are not caught up in the crossfire. Now, the spokesperson of the military is saying that a prime suspect in the killing have been identified. A lot is happening in our politics this morning. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Let me bring you up to speed on the happenings on our political space this morning. The headlines. On the headlines, Tinubu may announce new minimum wage on Workers' Day. Blighted by rising food prices, Lagosians find succor in discount market. Impeachment, Edo Chief Justice constitutes panel to probe Chaibu. Defense headquarters declares Simon Ekpa 96 others wanted. Follow Otis step, scrap ex-governors, deputies' pensions, Obasanjo tells governors. Two monarchs, 28 others killed in Niger, 7 in Benue. Peter Obi planning to dump Labour Party, join forces with El Rufai, Biwala. Killing fields, 6,931 people killed under Tinubu in 10 months. Federal government's fresh borrowings drive up Nigeria's public debt to 97.3 trillion naira. Labour Party budget pardon. Your integrity is intact, Tinubu tells National Assembly. Now, details. Remember that you can become part of the conversation by sending your reactions via SMS or WhatsApp messages on 08096661035. You can as well join us on Facebook as we're live at Ebonade 103.5 FM. Drop your comment on of the live video. You can equally stream us online via mixlr.com/gistfm. The first story we have for you on this particular edition of Political Views on Ebon at the 103.5 FM is Tinubu may announce a new minimum wage on Workers' Day. Indications have emerged that President Bola Tinubu may announce the new minimum wage on May 1st in commemoration of the International Labour Day and backdate its implementation to April. Newsmen gathered that the National Minimum Wage Committee was working to ensure that all negotiations regarding the new rates were finalized before then, with the expectation that the president will announce the new minimum wage in his Workers' Day address. A member of the committee who spoke to newsmen on condition of anonymity because of the sensitive nature of the issue, said by next week for the minimum wage committee we meet again. It is a continuous meeting. This is a meeting where all the reports from the zonal public hearings will be collected and reported, and then that will also give the committee the direction to work with. Our target is to ensure that Mr. President announces the minimum wage by the 1st of May, which is the Workers' Day, for it to take effect from April. So we are working to meet the timeline. When reminded the current minimum wage of 30,000 naira would cease to be valid on March 31st, the committee member said it was unlikely that the new rate would be ready before then, adding that there was still a long way to go in arriving at an acceptable minimum wage for the country. Still on stories making rounds our political space this morning, blighted by rising food prices. Lagosians find the succor in discount markets. It was 8:30 a.m. on March 17th. The sun had not come out, but a small crowd was gathering in front of Ikosi High School, Ikosi Road, Lagos. A few buses fired with foodstuffs were stationary, while another van was being awaited. In minutes, the van carrying eggs and loaves of bread drove past and parked right in front of other vans. The gate was flung open by a policewoman, and the crowd pushed their way in, stepping on each other, trying to find their feet. An aged woman was helped up by a kind officer and asked to stand in front of the queue, where some officials of the Lagos state government sat, waiting to start giving out tallies to buyers who had come to purchase food items that Sunday at the school. The Lagos state government had, through the Onje Eco initiative, designated a few buying spots for Lagos residents to purchase food items at discounted rates. The governor, Babachide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, a week ago, directed that Onje Eco food markets should commence discounted sales of food items across the 5 divisions of Lagos State, effective from Sunday, March 17, 2024. The state government said the food items are rice, beans, garri, bread, eggs, tomatoes, onions, and pepper, among others, will be sold at a 25% discount to residents. To prevent cheap practices and ensure the foodstuff reach a large number of Lagosians, a voucher system was introduced as the pilot scheme began. According to the Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Benga Omotosho, independent payment solution providers and food vendors have been identified and carefully selected to operate the process. They would also provide real-time data on the exercise for monitoring. For transparency, the prices of the items were also listed. For instance, a 5 kg bag of rice will sell for 5,325 naira, while 1 kg goes for 1,065 naira. A 5 kg bag of beans is 6,225 naira, while 1 kg will sell for 1,245. Still on our political space this morning, impeachment. Edo Chief Justice constitutes a panel to probe Chaibu. The Chief Judge of Edo State, Justice Daniel Okuboa, has constituted a 7-man panel to investigate the allegation leveled against the State Deputy Governor, Philip Chaibu, by the State House of Assembly. This is a part of the processes initiated by the Assembly to impeach the Deputy Governor. The panel was constituted on Friday via a statement with reference number CR 4837, Volume 1, 131, endorsed by the Chief Registrar of the Edo State High Court, B.O. Osawuru. According to the statement, the panel is headed by a retired Justice, Justice S.A. Omonua. In the statement, the Chief Registrar stated that the Chief Justice was acting in accordance with the powers vested on him by Section 188, subsection 5 of the 1999 Constitution. The statement read, "This is to bring to the notice of the general public that in line with the Section 188, subsection 5 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended, the Honorable Chief Judge of Edo State, Honorable Justice D.I. Okuboa, has Edo State, Honorable Justice D.I. Okuboa, has constituted the panel of 7 persons to investigate the allegations contained in the impeachment notice against the Deputy Governor of Edo State, Philip Chaibu. The said panel of 7 persons is comprised of the following persons: Honorable Justice S.A. Omonua, retired, Chairman Professor Violet Agbekobo, Member Professor Boniface Onomion Edebai, Member Professor Teresa Akpobem, Member Oboho Ayodele Obiasu, Member Andrew Olia, Member, and Idris Abukarin, Member. The Edo State House of Assembly, it will be recalled on Tuesday, March 19th, 2024, via a resolution passed by 19 out of the 24 members, directed the CJ to constitute a 7-man panel to investigate Chaibu. That same day, Chaibu approached an Abuja Federal High Court, asking the court through an expedited motion to restrain the assembly, the Chief Justice and his principal, Governor Godwin Obaseki, from taking further action on the impeachment process pending the determination of the substantive matter before the court. In the motion dated and filed on March 18, the deputy governor, through his lawyer, Professor Oladoyin Awowale, also joined the Edo State government, the Speaker of the House of Assembly, the Clerk of the Assembly, the Director General of the Department of State Security, and the Inspector General of Police. The court, presided over by Justice James Omotosho, however, turned down the request, insisting rather than all parties being put on notice, but granted the request that the parties be served by substituted means. It adjourned the matter till April 15th, 2024. The next story we have for you this morning: Defense Headquarters declares Simon Ekpa, 96 others wanted. The Defense Headquarters has declared that no fewer than 97 persons are wanted. The wanted persons include terrorists and insurgents, among others, who are behind violent crimes in the country. They also include the factional leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, Simon Ekpa, the Director, Defense and Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, released the names and the pictures of those declared wanted on Friday. Our correspondents had last week exclusively reported that the military high command was planning to declare some terrorists wanted, unlike in November 2022, when the military declared no fewer than 19 bandit leaders wanted with a bounty of 5 million naira on each of them to encourage Nigerians to volunteer information that could lead to their arrest. This time around, no bounty was placed on the 97 persons declared wanted. The names and pictures contained terrorists from the northeast and northwest, as well as insurgents in the southeast and north central. A total of 43 persons were declared wanted in the northwest zone, ravaged by banditry, among which are Alhaji, Shingi, Malindi Yakubu, Boka, Dogo Gide, Halilu, Shububu, Ado Aliero, Bello Tuji, Dan Bokokolo, Labi Yadi, Ngalala, Sadu Idris, Kashala Ruga, and Sani Gugu. In the northeast, ravaged by Boko Haram and Islamic State for West Africa province terrorists, 33 persons were declared wanted. Some of them are Abu Zaida, Modu, Zulum, Baba Data, Ahmad, Sani Tisha, Ba Sadiq, Abdul Saad, Kakabi, Muhammad Khalifa, Umar Tella, Abu Mutahid, Malam Muhammad, Malam Tahiru Buga, Uzaiya, and Ali Ngule. Also, a total of 21 insurgents and violent criminals were declared wanted in the southeast and north central area. They are Simon Ekpa, Sheikha Idozim Egede, Zuma, Thank God, Gentle, Flavor, Matthew, David Ndubisi, High Chief William Sabo, Ebuka Nwaka, Friday Ojimka, Obiemesi Chukwudi, aka Danchuk, David Ezekwem Chidiebube, and Amobi Chinonso Okafor, aka Temple, among others. Yes, you're tuned to Ebon at the 103.5 FM, and this is Political Views. Remember that you can become part of the conversation by sending your reactions via SMS or WhatsApp messages on 080-96661035. You can as well join us on Facebook as we're live at Ebon at the 103.5 FM. Drop your comment on the comment section of the live video. You can equally stream us online via mixlr.com/gistfm. Still on our political space this morning, the next story we have for you. Follow OT step, scrap ex-governors, deputies' pensions. Obasanjo tells governors. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo has described the payment of pension to former governors and their deputies as outrageous and a daylight robbery, just as he commended Governor Alex Oti of Abia State for repealing the law backing pension payment for ex-governors and their deputies. Obasanjo spoke on Friday when he paid Oti a visit at his country home in Mvusi, Isi Alangba, South Local Government Area. While commending Oti for his courage in repealing the law, the former president expressed the hope that other governors would follow his footsteps. He said, I watched the television and I saw repealing of Abia pensions, and I asked you, what exactly is this? You said to me that the pension scheme for former governors here was too outrageous. It's like a trouble because it allowed them to have a house in Abuja and elsewhere, and it allowed them to cut away with whatever they can. Yet, the pensions of ordinary people from 2014 are unpaid. What sort of leadership? You came and said there will be an end to that rascality. I congratulate you. And I said to you, I hope that your colleagues will follow your footsteps. Obasanjo congratulated Governor Oti for his tenacity and for weathering the storm to become the state governor and reminded him that a lot of work needed to be done. This morning I came in and I met you exercising a sound mind and a sound body. And I said to you, now I know your secret. I was glad when you said you do that every other day. It's just like me playing squash on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I think a leader must keep himself or herself in a healthy condition, he said. The next story we have for you this morning, two monarchs, 28 others killed in Niger, 7 in Benue. More facts on the attack on the Madaka community in the Rafi local government area of Niger State emerged on Friday, revealing that over 20 persons were reportedly killed in the onslaught. Two monarchs and the vigilance group commander of the area were also said to have been killed in that attack on Thursday, while the bandits were said to have overrun two communities in the area, burning houses and shops. The gunmen were said to have stormed the community at about 3 p.m. on Thursday and shot indiscriminately, leaving many dead and injured. The village head of the Maraka community, Saleh Kakuri, and the one commander, Iko, who was the deputy commander of the vigilance group in the area under the Madaka district of Rafi, were also killed in the attack. The bandits also invaded Majanjan district, where they seized the village head, Saliu Imahuri, his counterpart in Anguan Bala, and his two wives and killed them. Among the slain victims were Adamu Imahuri, a brother of the deceased ruler, and his four wives, as well as Shehu Salihu and Jamilu Isa, a resident of the community who spoke under condition of anonymity, said over 30 bodies have been recovered by the villagers. The bandits attacked the communities at about 3:30 p.m. on Thursday and operated for 4 hours without response from security agencies. The bandits operated for as long as they wanted without any challenge from the army or police. However, the district head of Madaka, Isha Bawale, confirmed the incident in a phone interview on Friday. He said the attack occurred around 3 p.m. on Thursday when the community market was in full session, resulting in huge casualties. Over 50 houses, including shops, some cars, and motorcycles were burned down during the attack. Another resident who gave his name as Adamu said the suspected armed men broke into the village shooting indiscriminately, killing their victims. They also burned down the market and abducted an unspecified number of the villagers and took them to an unknown destination. Adamu lamented about the absence of the police, adding that there was a similar attack by bandits on the same communities on a few years ago. Since that attack, where the district head was killed, there has not been security presence in those communities, leading to bandits attack without challenges from any quarters, he stated. The next story we have for you this morning, P2B planning to dump Labour Party, join forces with El Rufai Biwala. Ex-spokesperson for the Atiku Okowa presidential campaign organization, Daniel Biwala, has alleged an ongoing plot by the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 presidential election, P2B, to dump Labour Party and join immediate past Kaduna Governor Nasir El Rufai in the Social Democratic Party. In a post on his X handle on Friday, Biwala alleged that Obi was perfecting plans to take leave of the Labour Party as a result of the seemingly intractable conflict between the party leadership and the leadership of the Nigerian Labour Congress. Recall that Obi, a former governor of Anambra State, dumped the People's Democratic Party to join the Labour Party in May 2023 ahead of the 2023 general elections. Biwala, in a post on his X handle, wrote Obi at P2B allegedly planning to unite with El Rufai in Social Democratic Party as a Nigerian Labour Congress is set to take ownership and custody of their political party. They at NG Labour. Recall that there was a judgment of the court that states that Nigeria Labour Congress owns Labour Party. NLC is now prepared to take custody of that party. Twists and turns in the coming days, but all that will not give sleepless nights to at official Bat, who himself has his magic wands to wield. When contacted, chief spokesperson for the Obidati presidential campaign, Dr. Yunusa Tanko, dismissed the Biwala's assertion as a figment of his imagination. He said, ordinarily, we wouldn't respond to this fiction. He, Biwala, is a politician who wants to remain relevant in the scheme of things. We have responded to the false narrative of our leader leaving the Labour Party in the past. This position has not changed, he stated. The next story we have for you this morning, killing fields, 6,931 people killed under Tinubu in 10 months. On March 14th, 17 officers and men of the 181 Amphibious Battalion, Bomadi, were killed at Ukuama community in Uheli South local government area of Delta State on account of the land dispute between Ukuama and Okoloba communities. The 17 soldiers, including one lieutenant colonel, two majors, and a captain, met their Waterloo during alleged Boshada peace talks in the community. The murder of the military men has led to a military siege to Okuama, in which houses had been razed and no fewer than 50 people reportedly killed. The 67 reported souls to the Okuama crisis are among the 6,931 people killed across the country in 10 months since President Bola Tinubu assumed power last May. In his immediate past, President Muhammad Buhari's first 10 months in office, May 2015 to March 2016, Nigeria lost 8,356 people to insecurity. In former President Goodluck Jonathan's first 10 months as elected head of state, May 2011 to March 2012, insecurity claimed 2,059 lives. The figures under Jonathan and Buhari were gotten from the records of the Nigerian Security Tracker, NST, a project of the Council on Foreign Relations Africa program, which documented and mapped violence in Nigeria motivated by political, economic, or social grievances. However, the death toll under Tinubu is based on media reports. In all, the figures are conservative because some killings are underreported or not reported. In January 2024, troops killed 266 terrorists and bandits in operations across the country. In February 2024, troops neutralized 974 terrorists. The next story we have for you this morning, federal government's fresh borrowings drive up Nigeria's public debt to 97.3 trillion naira. Nigeria's public debt has increased by 10.7% from 87 to 87 trillion naira in quarter 3 2024 to 97.34 trillion naira as of December 31st, 2023, according to data released by the Debt Management Office (DMO) on Friday in Abuja. The DMO, in an update yesterday, said that the increase in debt stock was largely due to new domestic borrowing by the federal government to partly finance the deficit in the 2024 Appropriation Act and disbursement by multilateral and bilateral lenders. The office noted that the 97.3 trillion naira public debt comprises domestic debt of 59.12 trillion naira and external debt of 38.22 trillion naira. The sum of $3.5 billion was used to service external debt during the review period. Public debt stock as at December 31st, 2023 was 97.34 trillion naira or 108.229 billion dollars. This month comprises the domestic and internal debt stocks of the federal government of Nigeria, the 36 state governments, and the Federal Capital Territory. There was an increase of 9.43 trillion naira over the comparative figure for September 2023, which was largely due to new domestic borrowing by the federal government of Nigeria to finance the deficit in the 2024 Appropriation Act and disbursement by multilateral and bilateral lenders. Still on our political space this morning, Labour Party crisis. Abure carries moral leprosy. Should be avoided, NLC. The Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC) Political Commission on Friday accused the embattled national chairman of the Labour Party, Mr. Julius Abure, of carrying moral leprosy and should be avoided. The NLC Political Commission also said that Mr. Abure had since ceased to be the chairman of the opposition party. The reaction of the political arm of the Labour movement is coming on the heels of the allegations by Mr. Abure that the NLC stole the money meant for the payment of workers' salary when they picketed the headquarters of the party in Abuja. A statement issued by Comrade Chris Uyot, Secretary, NLC Political Commission, said the Labour movement intends to institute a private legal Mr. Abure, saying that his Abure cup of moral rascality, administrative indiscretion, and political incompetence overflows. The statement is titled, as Julius Abure's Seaholt hides from the law, he leaves behind a trail of lies, treachery, and infamy. It reads, following this week's successful takeover of the Labour Party secretariat nationwide by the Nigerian Labour Congress, who are the real owners of the party, Mr. Julius Abure's Seaholt continues to hide from long arms of the law over various allegations and charges bordering on criminality. It is unfortunate that instead of courageously coming out to the open to defend himself against several fingers pointing in his direction, Mr. Abure has adopted the cowardly posture of cushion in the undergrowth of shame, lies, treachery, and infamy to lay fictitious claims against a dignified, focused, and honorable institution like the Nigerian Labour Congress. First is to make the point clear that Mr. Julius Abure has since ceased from being the chairman of the Labour Party. Second, this latest missive that the successful takeover of the Labour Party secretariat by workers who are the party's rightful owners resulted in the theft of staff salaries is sarcastic and pathetic, he stated. Warning that his administration will not tolerate attack on military and security infrastructure. President Tinubu stated this when he hosted the leadership of the Senate to a dinner to break Ramadan feast at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. In a statement issued on Friday morning by Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Chief Ajuri Ngalale, the President told members of the upper legislative chamber that his administration will always encourage cooperation for the advancement of the nation. Ajuri, in the statement, quoted Tinubu as saying, I know the arithmetic of the budget and the numbers that I brought to the National Assembly, and I know what numbers came back. I appreciate all of you for the expeditious handling of the budget. Thank you very much. Those who are talking about malicious embellishments in the budget, they do not understand the arithmetic and do not refer to the baseline of what I brought, but your integrity is intact, he stated. There you have it. With what is going on in Okwama, community right about now about the killing of soldiers, human rights actors, activists across the country are calling on the Nigerian army to make sure that innocent people are not caught up in the crossfire right there. A lot is happening, and we want to also know your thought on the defense headquarters declaring Simon Ekpa wanted. A lot of things to talk about this morning, but first let me get started. Remember that you can send SMS or WhatsApp messages on 0096 You can as well join us on Facebook as we are live at Ebon at the 103.5 FM. Drop your comment on the comment section of the live video. We have a message coming from Agonabo, and he's joining us from Ufa Aguluzibu, and he says there's still a long way to go about the killing of gallant soldiers in Nigeria because truth is not yet met. Our gallant soldiers are speaking in a table of lies, and let the president make the cost of living reach every section of the country. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We will now hear from you. What is your take on all of this? The numbers you call and then you become part of this conversation is 070-3445-9334 or 070-4559-2210. Let's hear from you right about now. What do you have to say about all of this? Hello. Good morning, my brother. Kekin, man. Yamaniru. Ndị nke ha gbu. Yes, enwebe ezigbo information on that. That come with different, reportage. So why the show? Yes. Okay, the traditional ruler of that community na Kawana only be affected na their community. How is the traditional ruler of that community? That Okwama onwebe all even so far. But though now even onwe a president of a job group na Kawana a plead with the military to make sure that any innocent person they affected at the end of the day. So mono with time I must if men. Okay. Okay. Okay, if go say some of those things, Messi apologize to the military now the information they wrong. What we look at? No. Also, now one all year in the now we about the things they say. The question because that day journalist was banned from that place. You look at. Maybe for security reasons, I'm not there. But yes, ebe ọzọ nchọkwana ka itinye aka kịta bụ ihe gbasara Simon Ekpa otu a esi wee declare anyanwa wanted. Kedu ihe ị nwee ekwu na nke a? Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We need to hear from you. What is your take on all of this? So we'll on food right now. Hello.
Hello, man.
Yes, good morning, my sister. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome. We thank God. Monday. Yes, we had maintenance on Monday, so it affected our production that day. No, we had maintenance, and during the period before I batazia fully, time I got to go. So I said, "Man, I gabaniru. What Hanesa fucking ebisa? Okay, gabaniru." Thank you. Please go on.
This figure mainly comes from Buhari Jonathan to 10 months of untimely days. These are untimely days. No matter how untimely days. No matter and United Nations or everyone, we're in a country extradition students like when I'm even from them, I think everybody knows who. I am not happy. Okay, somebody anonymous now our president they announced new way on May 10th. This recent in the judiciary anonymous is that needed anonymity. Wherever I am there, our president level on the Korea or like that. Now, the national today, the Lagos during getting the great.
Okay.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
The House of Assembly, only the senators, on the rest. When they are Balanyu, Makadesi, more happiness, allowance in the one budget. Or even this one now, bringing a good to do, the ranking senators. But at this stage, I
No.
but when it comes to us, people are saying, I have people are on here. And this moment, I want to ask you, let's do all you see that the politicians want to be giving us something I am not trouble now. Open the answer in the now. Can't you restrain yourself? Or is the level of crowd? This when you hear now. Some time ago, that some representative in Ghana, the constituent, but they share your people here. They ordered the trailer to move on earth, they will burn it. Up at 50 days. For 1 year, what I'm saying is this: enough of this step. You need the military or enough of this. These are poor people. I know it's magic. Of this manner, don't be bad things, none of wilderness with wild animals. We saw how the people, the animals are devouring themselves. But sometimes we're back into the town. So now the wilderness of the human being who were of one has ruled of bypass of fire. It's not quite both the area, South Korean people never there as the baboon. It's like people have forgotten them, they were law of cover. I stand to be corrected. I think in Rwanda, there were so many killings like this. After that, no one can eat on Rwanda, those that are one part. I stand to be corrected. So after the killings, me now, Hadiza, and some human, also so many women in this country, only engaged in killing people around within it. They were eating more in your house, they were not even have children again, of which in the national country. Stop killing us, please. And we that go to stampede, we should stop collecting anything from them. You don't want to have a young, I don't know what I know to have to wait a SUV. They like internet or their money. We should not go for it. I don't know how to get out here. I am annoyed.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
Nigeria owes debt of 12 billion naira, 15 years. And 80 years, if PDP has suddenly combined with the Obasanjo in Canada, then in 80 years and 10 months of APC, Nigeria owed 7 billion naira. Amazing. I think APC means to Nigeria. 80 years and 10 months, 14 billion naira. Why are we looking for more monsters? APC is the monster that they have. Because these people are killing everybody. Putting no abject